could have given up, but you didn't. You could have stopped believing, but you didn't. You could have kept living their expectations, but you decided to make this life your own. And in turn, you're here. Hello, everyone. Today, I'm excited to share this topic with you. I think that would be of interest for every one of us, since we're all interested in interacting with other people. So if we are focusing on speaking our truth while we are in conversations, or let's say in certain situations where we have to respond a certain way, or not to react, but rather be intentional of how we position ourselves, how we presenting our own ideas, or how we are trying to interact without really focusing on the managing other people's emotions. And that's why I believe the topic of speaking your own truth would be very beneficial and valuable for us to think about and to pay attention to. So let's just start with, imagining ourselves into conversation or interaction with another person, or perhaps in a family meeting or a party or whatever. But it's something that we deal with every single day, I would say, either in personal or professional life. You are always in a situation where you have to talk to other person. And the way we usually do that is from our point of view, the way we see the situation, the way we perceive, or the way we see the situation is being unfolded for us and for them. So we have our own truth, and we also have the opinion on the matter from our point of view. And, a lot of times another person would ask your opinion on that matter. Let's say they want to see if you're on the same page with them. And, a lot of times we are not, and we are trying to respond in a way that wouldn't hurt another person's feelings, or we're trying to manage their emotions to not upset them. So I know, because I've been through that a lot of times, and I know how it feels. I know how uncomfortable it may be. But we have to learn. We have to learn how we can be true to who we are without hurting another person's feelings. And it is possible. We don't have to lie about our experience. We don't have to pretend to be somebody we are not, because this is something that would affect us in the end. When we try to manage another person's emotions or not to upset them, we are hurting ourselves by abandoning our own truth, by not honoring of our own truth, and not being honest to who we are. So in the end, we're not valuing that as an important principle that we live by. And that is why the way we respond is important. That is why the the focus on learning how to engage in a conversation without abandoning our own truth becomes significant to our own well-being. I want you to grasp that principle, because this is something that will affect the way you position yourself, the way you present yourself in the society, in different situations, in interacting with other people, while not really realizing that you develop a habit, you develop a technique, or perhaps a way to avoid unpleasant emotions that might rise only in a situation where your opinion or your truth is not in congruency, is different, the opposite of what the other person might think is true for them. And you only can focus on your own feelings, on what is your intuition saying to you, what is really important for you, what is true for you. Because if you're trying to rescue somebody, you're really not of service to both parties involved, for you and the other person. It may feel a little relieving in the moment of interaction, but really it's not serving anyone. But rather, you can share your honest opinion openly without thinking how it may affect the other party involved, because you're not responsible for their reaction. And that may be very liberating to understand that we are not responsible to how people react, or if they're being triggered by our honest response in the matter that we're discussing. And we are not the ones that's supposed to manage their emotions or rescue them from being upset in the situation, but rather speaking our truth and being honest of how we feel, what we think about it, and just share your thoughts openly. The more you do it, the more of a practice that you are developing of doing that every single time, and not thinking about how it may affect or not affect another person, but just saying the truth of how you feel honestly. It will develop a new state of being, I would say, a new feeling in your body where you would be more relaxed, you would be more comfortable, you would be more safe to speak your truth every single time where you have the opportunity to do so. And every one of us has that right to speak our own truth. And we don't have to continue cycle of rescuing other people and trying to pretend to be somebody we're not, or trying to hide behind the mask and really abandoning ourselves for the moment of relief when another person is not getting upset, but rather getting what they want to hear. So if we think about the outcome of being true to who we are is tremendous. And I mentioned it's becoming a habit, it's becoming a practice, it's becoming your way of being, it's becoming your value, something that you stand for. It's just who you are. You always speak your truth. You always speak what you think about, and you're being open about it. You're not scared. You're not thinking about rescuing somebody. You're just simply honoring yourself and speaking your truth. And the way they react is their business. It's none of your business. And I think it's very liberating to accept that principle that is important for us to live by. And why is it important? I think we don't really value the importance of being honest in different situations throughout our lifetime. The more we practice it, the more we're really mindful and intentional of responding in a way that we are true to who we are, the more we create this opportunity for us to connect to our true nature, to really get inspired, to being creative, to be open to share our gifts, to share our talents as a service to other people. And that's why we're here for. If we are not feeling safe to be who we are, what is the point of ours being here? If we're living somebody else's life and always pretending and always people pleasing and not being true to who we are, then our purpose in life is getting lost. So we are here really to live our true life, to be connected to our true nature, to create the place where we can be open, safe, and really inspired to bring in the creation that will be of service to other people. And it could be in any way that is true for you, because it's always different for every one of us. But the point is to first start honoring ourselves and our truth and start sharing it openly without the fear of being rejected, of being abandoned, of being not accepted, but rather staying true to what we stand for. And that is something that is, like I mentioned, is tremendous value that we can just practice every single day. And the more we do that, the more we build in the blocks for the successful life to emerge in our life. Because without being honest, without connecting to our true nature and aligning with our highest values, we cannot possibly step in our full potential, in our power to bring in all of the gifts and talents to serve other people. And that is why I believe we should pay attention and be mindful of how we interact with other people, how we respond in any situation. And it doesn't have to be abrupt or in any way disrespectful. We can always be polite and respectful to other people and simply saying her truth honestly. So it's not that one is really affecting the other, but we have to learn how to become courageous enough, how to become confident and feeling safe in our body to speak up without any fear. because that's what it comes back to understand that there is nothing scary about it. It's just the way we used to do in the past, the way we've been maybe taught or raised, or we notice how people interacted. But it doesn't have to be this way. We don't have to continue this cycle of not honoring our own truth. It has to stop. It has to come to an end. And you are the one responsible to start doing things differently. And it's all up to you. But like I said, the outcome, the reward, the actual power in it is tremendous. And our practice of doing it every day is just something that we're in control of. It's something that has to be integrated in our lifestyle, has to become a part of who we are, so we don't really think about it. Yes, in the beginning, maybe it could be uncomfortable or feeling like it's not you, it's not how you usually respond, but you have to catch yourself. First, you have to notice, be aware, and catch yourself that this is something I want to change in my life. This is not who I am. And from this point on, I'm going to start responding differently. I'm going to start honoring my truth and speak up openly about how I feel. What is true for me? That's important. And because that's important for me, I'm not going to abandon myself, but rather speak up openly and sharing my truth. And the way other person respond, it's their choice. It's their business. It's none of my business. And I'm not responsible of rescuing that person from any unpleasant emotion that might rise up because of our conversation. The trigger that is created for the other person might be for a reason, and you don't know that. It might be for a reason for that person to really notice or pay attention to something that they didn't know about themselves before. So in a way, you are doing something of value by interacting with them. But because it could be unpleasant, it might seem like you have to rescue them. But it's probably something that they need to look into. And you are just being the mirror, or happen to be that person that invoke certain emotion in another party involved. So you don't have to blame yourself. You don't have to feel guilty. You don't have to create any kind of scenario in your head why you should respond differently. You just need to focus on what is important for you, how you feel really about that subject. Openly, honestly, how do you feel about it? Just share that and see what happens. The more you do it, the more it becomes your norm, the safer you feel in your body by sharing your truth. The more you connect it to who you are, the more you get inspired, the more you create and share your gifts with other people. And that's the best you can do for yourself. I'm so glad I had that topic shared with you. I believe it's of utmost importance, not only for me, but for other people as well. And I would love to hear your comments and see what you can share in the comments below. I would love to listen and hear from you. And if you like that, if you want to share it with other people, please do so and share this episode. And on the future topics, if you have any suggestion of what you would like to hear from me, please do so as well in the comment section, and I will be excited to continue the solo episode for you. And for now, I hope you have a great day and try speaking your truth as often you can and see how you feel. I know you will feel the difference, and I know it will be so much better for you. Thank you so much. Bye. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, hit the subscribe button and share it with others. Stay tuned.